Welcome to a bit of curiosity with Jeremy Howlett. Here we talk about a lot of things, and a lot of things. I as a co-founder of Ultra Running, I'm passionate about fitness. I'm passionate about entrepreneurship. I'm passionate about marketing. But after leaving Ultra, I decided to go back to school, and returning to school, I sought out a degree in philosophy because I've love learning and I love just getting to know things. And so philosophy it was. That's where I decided I would spend the bulk of my studies. And throughout that 2 years, finishing up my degree, I really loved and gained a passion for reading, for writing, for all things pursuant of knowledge. Um, Years ago, I read the book by David Epstein called Range. If you're not familiar with it, it's a book all about it's subtitled Being a Generalist in a Specialized World. And he goes into exactly what I am. I've never considered myself a specialist at one thing. I'm a generalist marketer. I love strategy. I love storytelling. I love kind of taking that approach. But I've never been great at one thing. I didn't pursue specific things, right? I wouldn't consider myself a superb social media marketer. I wouldn't consider myself excellent at ad campaigns. I wouldn't consider myself excellent at design by any means, web development, any of that stuff, right? I know enough about a lot of those things, video production, photography, etc. Kind of a hobbyist photographer in my own right, but I'm not a specialist in any of that stuff. I don't fit into the mold of Malcolm Gladwell's 10,000 hours, right? Um so what I explore on this podcast is right along those lines, right? Okay, what are the generalist things? Or let's dive into some specialist things, right? But it's to learn to be a better generalist to some degree, right? I love learning. I love learning a little bit about a lot of things. I'm not as passionate necessarily about taking the 10,000 hours rule and diving into it, right? I don't see myself ever learning to play the guitar because it's tough for me to want to commit that much time. Do I appreciate the guitar? Do I appreciate music? Yeah. Probably not as much as some other people, but there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that we can learn about. So I want to explore how running helps us improve, how I want to explore photography, different aspects of photography. I want to explore culinary arts. I want to explore art in general, right? Art curation, creating art. What does that look like, right? What are those things? I want to explore business, investing, but also philosophy, how to think, from the ancient Greeks all the way down to postmodernism. Um, Looking at these things, right? Like history. I love biographies. Biographies are among some of my favorite things. And I really enjoy reading biographies and I enjoy what they teach, what we can learn about an individual's life. And I come to find that many of the leaders that we learn about tend to be generalists. Um, yeah, okay, Abe Lincoln was an attorney, but he knew a lot about a lot of things. And that's what made Abraham Lincoln so great, right? Um, even even those that we consider some of the greatest artists, right? Like Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was a generalist in some degrees, right? He loved to take cadavers and perform autopsies to learn more about the human body and about the symmetry that goes into the human body. And that made him a better artist. That made him be able to create some of the greatest works, right? From The Last Supper to Mona Lisa to all of those great arts by Leonardo da Vinci, right? He was also a technologist in the sense that he was an engineer, right? He built things as well. And so these are things that fascinate me. These are things that really kind of provide that knowledge and just get me to tick, right? If you ask me what my favorite hobby is, it depends on the year, it depends on the season, it depends on what I'm into, right? Like I love to tie flies and fly fish. I've done that since I was 14, 15 years old. But a lot of that's taken a back seat sometimes to mountain biking or to skiing or to reading or to writing. I'm currently working on a couple of books. And so all of these things, right? Like these hobbies create more of a generalist mindset in me. And so as we explore on this podcast, we want to explore just curiously what are the things that define us, right? What are the things that make us who we are, and how can we add more to that, right? Like how can we create a fuller life? Um, I I love it. I'm passionate about it. I think it's exciting. I look forward to the guests that we'll have on this podcast, the things that we can learn together. You know, so follow me on my Substack where I'll write about a variety of things. But like, share, subscribe. I look forward to sharing this podcast with you, and I look forward to learning a lot and having a great experience together. So, again, it's a bit of curiosity. I'm the host, Jeremy Howlett. We'll have a number of guests. I'll might share some individual podcasts. I look forward to exploring anything about everything.